Welcome back to Master 79. In this lesson, we are going to build a Band 9 answer to an ielts writing task 2 question completely from scratch. We will unpack the prompt, brainstorm both sides, plan the essay, and then write every paragraph together. Here is the question. In many countries, good schools and medical facilities are available only in cities. Some people think new teachers and doctors should be required to work in rural areas for a few years, but others think everyone should be free to choose where they work. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Take a moment to read it carefully. Before you write a single word, unpack the prompt. There is a topic, there are two clearly opposed views, and there is a three-part task. Notice two small words that control the whole essay. The word new tells you this applies to graduates, not to every teacher and doctor already working. And the phrase a few years tells you the obligation is temporary, not permanent. Candidates who miss those two words end up answering a different question. Now, the rules of this question type. You must do all three things. Discuss view 1, discuss view 2, and give your own opinion. Miss any one of them and task response is capped, no matter how good your English is. State your opinion in the introduction and repeat it in the conclusion so the examiner never has to guess. Spend 5 minutes planning. Aim for 280 to 320 words. Let us brainstorm the first view, that rural service should be required. Market forces on their own never fix rural shortages, so the gap simply becomes permanent. Medical and teaching degrees are largely funded by the taxpayer, so graduates arguably owe a return on that investment. Equal access to health and education is a right, not a postcode lottery. And early career doctors often gain broader, faster experience in the countryside than they would in a large city hospital. Now the opposing view, that everyone should be free to choose. Forced relocation restricts a liberty that every other profession enjoys. The threat of a compulsory posting may deter capable students from applying in the first place. Resentful staff tend to underperform and leave the moment their term ends. And crucially, some people simply cannot relocate because of families, partners, or caring responsibilities. Notice that these are strong arguments. Never make the other side look stupid. Here is my position. I support temporary rural service, but only if it is genuinely well rewarded and strictly time limited. Three things make this a sophisticated stance. First, I concede the freedom objection openly. Second, I outweigh it because the cost of doing nothing falls on people who have no choice at all. And third, I shift the argument from whether we should do this to how it should be done. So here is the plan. A 70-word introduction that paraphrases the prompt, outlines both views, and states my position. Then a body paragraph of roughly 95 words on freedom of choice. Then a longer body paragraph, about 115 words, giving the case for service together with my own opinion. And finally a 35-word conclusion. Notice I deal with the view I disagree with first, so my own view is the last thing the examiner reads. Paragraph 1. The introduction. Notice the paraphrase. Available only in cities becomes heavily concentrated in urban areas. Each view gets a single sentence, with no detail yet because that is the body's job. And the thesis is specific. It does not just say I agree. It agrees with a condition attached, and that condition will come back at the end. Paragraph 2 takes the view I do not hold, and takes it seriously. The topic sentence signposts the structure by promising ethical and practical grounds, and the paragraph then delivers both. Look at how the second idea is developed all the way to a consequence, a revolving door of reluctant newcomers rather than simply being asserted. That development is what coherence and cohesion is really measuring. Paragraph 3 pivots to my own view with the word nevertheless. The taxpayer argument comes first, then a concrete illustration, a child in a remote village with the same claim on a qualified teacher as a child in the capital. Then, most importantly, I answer the objection from paragraph 2 directly, saying the objection is real, but it argues for designing the scheme well rather than abandoning it is the single clearest band 9 signal in this essay. Paragraph 4, the conclusion. Both views are acknowledged one final time before the verdict lands. The condition from the introduction, generously rewarded and strictly time-limited, reappears, so the essay closes its own loop. And notice there is no new argument and no new example. A conclusion consolidates. It never expands. Here is the complete essay, 313 words. Pause the video now and read it as a whole, because the paragraphs do work together that you cannot see when you look at them one at a time. Watch how the condition in the introduction travels through paragraph 3 and lands again in the conclusion. Here is the language bank from this essay. Learn these as flexible patterns rather than fixed phrases, because an examiner can spot a memorized chunk immediately. The concede and counter patterns in the second column are the most valuable ones here. They are what let you take the other side seriously and still win the argument. Why this reaches band 9. Task response, because both views get comparable depth and the position is clear and consistent. Coherence, because each paragraph has one central idea and the linking never feels mechanical. Lexical resource, because the collocation is precise and natural without showing off. And grammatical range, because the essay uses concession, a semicolon and conditionals with error-free control. One honest caveat. This Band 9 assessment is an internal quality check against the public ielts band descriptors. It is not a score awarded by a certified examiner. Now it is your turn. Rewrite paragraph 3 arguing the opposite, that freedom of choice should win, and keep the concession in place. Post it in the comments and I will read them. If this helped, subscribe to bmaster79 for more Band 9 walkthroughs. See you in the next lesson.